right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mark Comstock, your next performer.
So does anybody here know or remember who Arthur Lee was?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. So I'm from Santa Barbara, California. And during the mid-'60s, local promoter named Jim Salzer started bringing up bands from LA. You know, it was before Monterey.
I love that.
So it was still a time when to play on the radio, you really had to be from England. If you were from the United States, nobody wanted to hear anything about you. But there was stuff going on in LA.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Springfield were down there on Hollywood Boulevard. The Doors were down there on Sunset Strip. But the biggest band of the time, when those guys were all sort of rising, was a band called Love,
Yeah.
which was led by Arthur Lee. And Arthur was an African American, and as far as I know, at that time, he was the only African American interested in playing jangly guitar, harmonica-based rock and roll. And he did it real well. I mean, he was a great singer, he wrote great songs, he had a great band. They had one big hit that was called 7 and 7 Is, which seemed mysterious till you learned that the B-side was called 14. But it was a great song. I mean, they may not have been able to think of a great title for it, but it was a wonderful tune. And that was sort of as high as they ever got as a band, you know. I mean, they played a lot more music after that, but I seem to remember reading that they just made some bad promotional decisions and didn't end up on the national stage like some of their peers did.
That and drugs.
Yeah, and Arthur eventually went to jail because, I mean, he'd done some sort of hippie crimes, you know, having some pot or something, maybe a weapons-related thing.
He went to, because of a weapons charge.
That was bogus. It was a weapons charge
That he went to jail for and then got released.
Yes, he was sentenced to 12 years because it was 3 strikes with 2 sort of inconsequential crimes, making this one his 3rd. And he did 5 years, and then he got released because the judge reviewed his case and threw it out.
Right.
And they put the band back together, and they were touring sort of in the early 2000s, and then Arthur just sort of pissed them all off by leaving the tour and going back home to Tennessee. And they were all pissed at him until they heard that he died. You know, I mean, he'd had news about his bad health, and he left and went home and stayed with his people until the end was there. And lots of big people came to celebrate his life once it was over. I mean, the one that I remember was Robert Plant, among other people that were, you know, sort of peers of his, to celebrate his music, call attention to his stuff, and raise a little money to help with the transition. So this is a song called Arthur Lee. Okay.
Yeah,
I needed a footrest, and the mic stand is going to do just that for me. Let me hear you sing this song. Look at Joe, your son, D.C. They took you back home to Tennessee. I wonder if he's got a star down on Hollywood Boulevard. The lights were bright and the days were long. Arthur used to sing his song. Tell me if you could soft and low. Who's that playing on the radio? Tell me if you could, would you go on down to Hollywood? Dead and gone, but his memory lingers on. I guess he had to go that way. Sure was good to hear him play. Tell me if you could, would you go on down to Hollywood? YouTube yourselves up some Arthur Lee and love on YouTube. 7 and 7 is good introduction.